Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest online event here at the University of California, Merced. My name is Ricky Hill, and I am the e-recruiter here at UC Merced. A huge welcome to you tonight. I would like to welcome you to this latest online event here as part of the Become a Bobcat virtual series. Tonight, you are in for quite a treat. We actually have this event jam-packed with also pre-law as well as pre-health content for you. So depending on which topic you're most interested in, we have everything here for you. So make sure you stick around for the full hour. Before we get started, let me go ahead and give you a quick reminder of how you can participate tonight. If you need to adjust your audio settings, go ahead and click in the lower left corner of your screen to make those changes. If you'd like to adjust the size of your window, click on View Options in the upper portion of your screen. Most importantly, we are here to answer all of those questions for you tonight, so make sure you send those over to us using the Q&A button located in the lower portion of your Zoom window, and we will get those answered for you throughout the presentation, behind the scenes, as well as during a live question and answer session towards the end of this program. Before we get started, I would like to go ahead and give you a quick update. If you haven't yet heard about Bobcat Day, mark your calendars now. It is just a few days away, this coming up Saturday, April the 23rd. We would love to see you here. We will make sure that we drop a link for that event into the chat box so you can take a look at that website. It will tell you all the information that you need, and we will talk a bit more about it later on. Most importantly, though, it is Saturday, April 23rd. Get yourself registered and take a look at that website to see what we have coming for you. We are so excited for that event. And at this time, like I said, tonight, we are going to start and kick things off with pre-law. So at this time, let's go ahead and hand things over to one of our current law students. Her name is Erin. Welcome, Erin.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, and thank you to everybody who has joined. It's so amazing to be able to speak in front of such ambitious students, especially coming into college. So just to introduce myself again, my name is Erin DeLeon. I'm a first-year philosophy major here at UC Merced. I do plan to pursue a career in law, specifically civil rights law, and as somebody who does have this as my career plan, I have had the opportunity to see what UC Merced does have to offer people who want to go into law. So UC Merced does have a website and app called Handshake, and through Handshake you have the opportunity to filter through different internships, both paid and unpaid, as well as different entry-level jobs for students. As a first semester student at UC Merced last semester, I had the opportunity to have my first internship, especially when it came into law and politics. So my first internship was unpaid with an organization called APAPA, which is the Asian Pacific Islander American Public Affairs Association. And with APAPA, I was able to draft an impact case report for Senate Bill 1363. This Senate bill is APAPA's main goal, which is to integrate more Asian and Pacific Islander Americans into our K-12 American history classrooms. And as I've mentioned before, I am a philosophy student, which may seem surprising to some. Erin, if you're going into law as a career, why would you take philosophy and not, for example, political science? Something that's very beneficial when it comes to being a philosophy student is that you have the opportunity to take logic and critical reasoning courses. And with these logic and critical reasoning courses, it definitely helped me not only secure this internship with APAPA, but also helped me draft this impact case report and Senate Bill 1363 with APAPA as well. Philosophy helped me not only figure out which logical methods would be most convincing for our goals as an organization, but it also helped me properly articulate the importance of the bill and allowed it to be not only passed through the Senate Education Committee, but now it's being introduced to the actual floor. So I'm very excited to see what everybody has to offer UC Merced and allow you guys to see what UC Merced has to offer you as well. I mean, I was able to bring a Senate bill into the floor, and I'm only a first year. So imagine with all of the resources being used by your students, what you can do as well. And that's basically all I have, and I will be happy to pass it back to Ricky as well.
Thank you so much, Erin. It's always so wonderful to get our students firsthand experience. So thank you so much for that. At this time, we actually have another student who is on with us. So I would like to hand this over to Chandan. Let me go ahead and pull up your slide here. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. It is so nice to see everybody attend this. Hi, I'm a third year double majoring in political science and management business economics with a writing minor. I am the president of Merced Pre-Law Society. So much like Erin right here, I am also a pre-law focused student. Honestly, it's really fun and interesting. There's so many opportunities that are building and still coming onto campus. So it's really nice to see that. I have had so many opportunities. First of all, like being the president of Merced Pre-Law Society, we offer much of these internship opportunities and things like that that allow you to learn more about the law focus in college, but also like what other things are outside of college that you can intern in and do as well and participate while you're here at the UC Merced. Another internship that I've personally done is the Maddie's Institute at the Tuolumne County Council, which is in Sonora County, which is an hour from Merced, but it was really nice. I got to learn a lot about, how a city attorney works and what are their day-to-day lifestyles and things like that. And you get to work on projects, especially when you go through the Maddie's Institute. But while I am a law focus, I am also a mentor here for the first year students incoming at the Success Mentor Program. But yeah, you can go to the next slide. Yeah, so I'll just give you guys a little bit more background on what the Merced Pre-Law Society is. So our mission is to provide resources and educate and ultimately get students into law school. That is our main mission. But specifically this year, we have focused on internship and professional development opportunities, such as like many of the internships. Professor Harris will also talk about this later on, but what we focus on is like, there's opportunities on campus. There's UCDC, UC SAC. These are just like internships that you can actually go to DC or Sacramento and like work there while you're taking courses. And Maddie's Institute that I talked about, there's that internship that you can do. It's like you do have to commute a little bit, but there's so many resources that you can go from there. Like for Maddie's Institute, there's many offices. Some are in Merced, some are in Sacramento, some are in DC, and then there's also some kind of like in the little cities all around. Yeah, so every meeting, what I have personally incorporated is LSAT practice. It is very important for those who are going into law is that you do have to prepare for the LSAT, especially if you want to go into law school right after. So, just getting that practice, the day-to-day questions, doing a question a day really does help. And I really want to incorporate that into all of the members coming in. And then beginning of the semester, we had an LSAC trip, which allowed the students to go to LA and experience and talk to all these law schools that are in the US, and some are even outside of US. And honestly, it's a great experience to know like, okay, what field are you interested in? What do these law schools have to offer? And like, financially, are they something in your budget? Are you planning on going a private school, law school route, a public law school? And like, you get to learn a lot about these and they help you, build on your skill sets, but also like, they help you make a decision like, okay, personally, I am, from a low income family background. So like talking to these made me realize that, okay, maybe going to a private institute isn't the best option. So, going to public route and like things like that really do help. And networking opportunities. So later on, you'll get to meet a professor who is an active attorney on campus, but he's also a professor who teaches business law, economics, and things like that. So creating these connections with these professors really do help in the future. And yeah, honestly, I would say it's a really great opportunity. And like, it's not just like, having that mentor program with, professors, but like peers as well, because a lot of the students that you go to school with, you'll get to meet them later on. And, like some of you might go in the same route, I'm personally going down the immigration, international, and, public policy route. So it's a little variety of things. But, going through this club, it really helps you decide like, okay, I can learn these things, I know what they are, and go from there. And yeah. Oh, we have a question in the chat. So it's nice to know, Beverly. So majority of the students in Merced, it's actually a very diverse campus. We have a lot from NorCal. We have a lot from SoCal as well. And then personally, I'm from Sacramento. So, it's really nice to see, people from LA, or like even one of my eBoard members is from all the way NorCal from Humboldt. So it's really nice to see that. And you get to like see these differences in like accents, but cultures and things like that. So it's really nice. So how do you even become a part of the MPLS, the Merced Pre-Law Society? So, and you have to attend general body meetings. We are not too strict. So obviously if there's a confliction, you just sign up for the emailing and we'll give you like information in the emails. But we do require some of the students to attend at least 5 general body meetings. And the attendance is taken by the secretary. There is a membership due. It is $10. We have made it very affordable. I remember my freshman year, it was $25, and the year previously it was $30. So it is generally coming down, but it really does help the club keep running on. And you just have to complete an MPLS membership form and request membership on the Cat Life page. So I just want to kind of talk about the Cat Life page. So it is a page on all the clubs. So if there's any clubs that you're interested in, you just go to Cat Life and search up, oh, I'm interested in this. And you'll see all the clubs that are relating to your interest. So if you look up, pre-law, you'll see some of the clubs that are related to that. We also have a mock trial club on campus who are currently preparing for a mock trial competition. And we have our Merced Pre-Law Society. We have Phi Alpha Delta, which is another club, a fraternity on campus that helps students prepare for law school. Oh, that's a great question that we've had in the chat. Do you have to be in a certain major to join a club? No, you don't. That's the best part. You can literally be a social major. You can be a philosophy, a psych major. We have a lot of different majors coming in. The best part is we even have like some chem majors, which I was really shocked about. But yeah. You can go on to the next slide. Yes, and I just want to talk about this a little bit. So Bobcat Day is coming up. I know in the chat we were talking about, oh, when is Bobcat Day, and what happens on Bobcat Day. So on Bobcat Day is on April 23rd. It is from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's like when all the clubs and orgs on campus come and table for the incoming prospective students, but also, the students who are on campus, they'll get to learn a little bit more about, what clubs are here as well. So it's a great opportunity. MPLS will be tabling as well. So just look out for the purple banner, but like, our symbols that I just showed in the previous slide. It's really fun. We are doing a little, water balloon, the e-board on one of them. So not saying, you can come and water balloon me, but it'll be nice to see your guys' faces. So come join us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chandra. What a fantastic introduction to this program. And also thank you so much to Erin, who helped us kick off this section of our event. So as Chandra was just sharing with us, Bobcat Day, we're so excited for that. Mark your calendar, April 23rd, this coming Saturday, just a few days away. She did mention quite a bit of what can be expected then. A few other things I just want to drop, and then we'll also make sure that you have the link in the chat so you can get yourself registered right away. You can also expect to have opportunities to attend workshops for each of our major schools. So engineering, natural sciences, and SHA, which is social sciences, humanities, and arts. You'll get to meet pretty much everyone on campus as well. So all of us that you see here, myself included, we will all be there to help you celebrate becoming a Bobcat, whether that be in the future or coming this fall or anywhere in the middle of that process. So we're very excited. In case you didn't catch that yet, make sure you get signed up and that we can see you this coming Saturday. So at this time, we're going to move into the next portion of this event tonight, which is going into pre-health. So I'd like to go ahead and invite on Erica, and I believe we have another presentation that we will be sharing with you. Hi, Erica, welcome.
Thank you. As Ricky mentioned, my name is Erica Robbins, and I'm the Director of Student Services in the School of Natural Sciences, and I am one of 2 pre-health advisors on our campus. Also with me is Jen Souza, and she's behind the scenes answering questions. And so put those questions in the Q&A box there, and we'll get those answered up for everybody. So I do want to share some information about the preparation for health careers at UC Merced. So first, I will go over kind of the topics we're going to cover. So my goal here is to answer all of those burning questions y'all have about how UC Merced prepares health professions. So we'll show what the pathway to becoming a healthcare professional looks like. We'll talk about the pieces that make a competitive applicant, the selection of a major. We'll highlight some of those prerequisite courses, so what courses you should expect to take. We'll talk about the experience requirements for a variety of the health professions. We'll get into the kind of nitty gritty of what UC Merced pre-health advising actually does and how we support you. Overview of professional school admissions, and then we'll have lots of time for questions, but I'll share some tips for next steps as well. So this illustration shows the general pathway of becoming a healthcare professional. So everyone has to go through high school, of course. So whether you're coming in as a first-year student or as a community college transfer student, that's all good. It's totally fine to take those community college science courses before you transfer, or if you're a first-year student, if you end up taking some of those science courses during the summer at community college. When I get to the courses, I'll relay that again, but that's totally fine. Eventually, though, you will need to come to a four-year program to either earn a bachelor's degree or finish the prerequisites, or both. So whether you go to a CSU, UC, or a private institution, it's all good. So we, of course, want you to come to UC Merced. So that's the lens through which I'm going to share information. After you've completed your bachelor's degree, you go on to professional school. And so depending on the profession you're headed towards, it could be 3 years, or most of them are 4 years. So after the professional school and you have those letters behind your name, whether it's MD, DO, DDS, PharmD, or what have you, then you move into residency training, which can last another 3 to 5 years. And the residency training is where you're learning your specialization. So if you want to be a pediatrician, or you want to be a psychiatrist or an obstetrician, it's in the residency training after you've completed medical, pharmacy, or dental school, where you actually learn your specialization. After that, there are optional fellowships, which can take 1 to 3 years. It depends on your interests and depends on what kind of a practitioner you want to be. And then finally, you are a practicing professional. So you can go out into the world and you can join a practice, buy a practice, join an HMO, join a hospital or clinic. It just depends. Again, like where do you want to work? But after that, the learning never really stops. In order to maintain your license, you need to continue your education through continuing medical education units, or each of the professions has their own type of continuing education, because you need to stay abreast of new findings, new technologies, and new techniques. So to be in healthcare, you really do need to be a lifelong learner. So what makes a competitive applicant? So we kind of throw them into 3 different buckets. So the first piece is strong academics. So you need to have a competitive GPA. So that includes your cumulative GPA, but also just the sciences. So as you'll see here in the next couple of slides, there are a lot of science classes that are required across the health professions. So you really need to do well in those courses. The second piece of the academics is the test scores. You need to do well on the test that's required for your profession, whether that's the MCAT, the DAT, the PCAT, or the GRE. You need to do well in those tests. The second piece is meaningful experiences. So you need experience in the field that's related to the profession you're headed towards, but it can also be research, community service work, paid work. So if you're like employment, but it needs to be meaningful and it needs to help you towards your ultimate goal. So we encourage students to look at experiences that help them demonstrate the commitment and passion for the field, and that will ultimately enhance your application. And the third piece is the personal narrative. So your personal narrative, like your personal statement on your application, your interview, when you get to that point in the process, you should really be able to, applicants should be able to clearly communicate the commitment and passion for the field, draw upon that meaningful experience that they've already engaged in to clearly articulate why they're a good fit for the profession and why they're going to be successful. And so this is how we approach preparing students for healthcare professions. And so we work with students to identify how can we work on these elements to make you a successful applicant. So selection of a major, there is no pre-health major. So when you applied to UC Merced, you did not see one that was specific to pre-med or pre-dental, pre-pharmacy, etc. No major or minor gives students an advantage over the others. We really want students to major in what field they like the most. So whatever discipline you're most excited about. So whether it's biology, chemistry, psychology, public health, sociology, or even history, it really does not matter. We want you to select a major or a course of study in which you are interested and which you will excel. Now, if you choose a major outside of the sciences, that's totally fine. We're going to work together to closely map out what your degree requirements look like for the major, plus the required science classes, because you'll still need to take those in. It is true that most students going into health profession schools are biological sciences majors, and that's mostly because of the overlap between the required classes and the degree requirements for biology, but it is by no means a requirement. You can major in anything. So speaking of the prerequisite courses, this is a really rough list of the most commonly required courses for most professions. So specifically, I'm talking about requirements for medical school, pharmacy, dental school, veterinary school, nursing programs as well, and then some PA, occupational therapy, and physical therapy programs as well. We do support a variety of professions. So if you don't see your profession listed on here, that doesn't mean we're not going to help you. But I do want to share kind of the general course expectations that you can expect to take as a pre-health student. In your unique situation, we will work carefully with you to craft your own personalized plan. But as you can see, there's biology, general chem, organic chem, biochem, physics, math, statistics, plus some courses in social sciences, humanities, and arts, but also microbiology, anatomy, and physiology. So these are lots of science classes in preparation for health careers. And again, taking lower division courses, science courses at the community college is perfectly acceptable. So whether you're taking them you've already completed them as a transfer student coming in, or you're coming in as a first year student and you want to potentially get ahead during the summer at your local community college, that is totally fine. So experience, like I mentioned, experience is a key component in the preparation for health careers. And the reason behind this is students need to have a clear expectation of what the career is all about. So we want students to get out there, do some informational interviews, some job shadowing, volunteer programs at a hospital or clinic to help you see what the real life working environment in healthcare is like. It can help clarify and validate those initial impressions, but also get you thinking about how it's not like on TV, and also tease out, like, is this really a good fit for you and your values and your personality? Ultimately, we hope it can improve the articulation of your goals. Again, having those very concrete experiences to draw upon when asked, why do you want to be a healthcare professional? You could then say, I want to be a doctor because of X, Y, and Z, and I had this really rich experience in this location that really solidified my goal. That's going to be much more powerful than I just want to help people. So again, getting yourself out there, getting exposed to the real life working environment, and making some connections as well. It's important to note that some professions have specified required hours in clinical settings. And so one of your takeaway items from this presentation is going to be to start researching schools and programs to start understanding what do those expectations look like. Coming into the university, you're not expected to do any of these things just yet, but it's never too early to start thinking ahead of that next step and starting that preparation. We really want students to choose experiences that are appealing and important to them specifically. We're asking you to take some really challenging courses and then going out into the community or volunteering your time. We want you to engage in experiences that are going to benefit you. But again, if you're just doing it to check a box, it's not going to be that impactful to you. We want you to be thoughtful about how you're spending your time and also what activities you're engaging in. So for us in pre-health advising at UC Merced, we do provide individual and group sessions. We work with students individually on that guidance to becoming a competitive applicant, looking at you as a person. Why are you pursuing this pathway? And what have you done thus far? And where do you want to go? We do work very closely with students in crafting their academic plans to make sure that the courses are taken in the appropriate sequence, and so that you're ready to take the exams that are needed and apply within your preferred timeline. We do offer workshops and events every semester. We host a number of professional schools admissions recruiters. They share information on their program. So that's another opportunity for you to hear from professional schools, to hear what they're looking for in their applicants as well. Like I said, we do help with course selection and planning. The science classes are highly sequential, and so we will work very closely with you to make sure that you're taking them in the appropriate order. We do provide assistance throughout the application process. We will work with students on personal statement reviews, making sure that those are nice and shiny and ready to go, talking folks through the interview process and what that looks like, and offering even just moral support through a very, very stressful time. And then we also provide connections to other opportunities. So we do have a mailing list where we're routinely forwarding out different opportunities, whether that's an internship or a speaker, club meetings, to get students connected with other like-minded students as well. So besides pre-health advising, there are also a variety of other pre-health opportunities provided by our partners here at UC Merced. So on-campus employment, heroes are peer health educators, there we go, that work with students in health education. Student clubs and orgs, there are career-focused and interest-focused clubs and orgs. And so again, that's another space where you can meet and connect with like-minded students. There are a variety of health-focused clubs and orgs. So again, if you're interested in nursing specifically, there is a pre-nursing club on campus that you can connect with. Undergraduate research is a huge opportunity for our students. All of our faculty labs have undergraduate students working in them, and that is excellent experience to gain experience in, applying the scientific method, working as part of a team, but also getting to know faculty members on an individual basis. I've had some students who are even able to publish their research in scientific journals and attend conferences and present their findings, which is fantastic, and a fantastic piece and add to your resume and application. And it doesn't necessarily have to be science focused research. There's opportunities in health psychology, public health, and health sciences. So it doesn't have to just be biology research or chemistry research. There are paid experiences as well. We do work with community employers in the Merced area. And so you may have an opportunity to get paid for your work, which is always good. Community involvement, the Office of Student Involvement has different service opportunities. Again, getting out into the community and giving back is another way to enhance your application. Volunteering, the Mercy Medical Emergency Room. So Mercy Medical is the large hospital just down the street from us. You can actually see it from the third and fourth floor of the library. So we are working very closely with them to hopefully bring back the volunteer program, hopefully in the next year. And that's excellent experience where you are in the emergency room with patients and members of the healthcare team. And then finally, I do want to highlight Lead Pre-Health. This is a leadership development program for third and fourth year students. And so students do have to apply, and it is competitive to participate, but you do have the opportunity to engage with high-level health leaders around the country. And it's been a phenomenal experience for those participants. So professional school admission. So the question we get asked a lot is how many students are accepted, how many UC Merced students are accepted to health profession school? So the truth is the acceptance rate is extremely difficult to calculate. We are not always told by our students when they get accepted, and they are not obligated to share that information. So instead of focusing on the acceptance rate, I would encourage each of you to instead consider how the institutions, because I know many of you have been offered admission at a variety of excellent institutions, and you're considering UC Merced. I think you should pick Merced, but as part of your deliberations, I really encourage each of you to think about how those institutions will provide research and community involvement opportunities, the academic and the pre-professional support, and the academic and pre-health advising. So asking those questions about how the institution provides these three elements can, I think, help inform your decision-making much better than what is the acceptance rate. So at UC Merced, we provide these opportunities, and it is ultimately up to the student to utilize them. So we really recommend students attend the university where you feel you'll be able to best prepare for your intended career. So questions and next steps. So more information on pre-health advising is available out on our website, which is accessible to anybody. So it's prehealth.ucmerced.edu. Like I mentioned earlier, I highly recommend each of you to start researching schools and programs now. I know most of you are probably just about ready to graduate and you're like, what? I'm just deciding to go to college. But it's never too early to start familiarizing yourself with what that next step actually looks like. So looking at schools and programs, following them on social media is, pretty low risk, but it can still give you some really valuable insights into what that program is all about. So join us, submit your statement of intent to register to UC Merced. But if you're interested in pre-health advising, you can subscribe to our mailing list with the link right there, and then attend an introductory workshop in the fall. Once you have subscribed to our newsletter, you'll start to receive our messages, and we will share information about our upcoming workshops when we have them in the fall semester. And then you can also follow us on social media. So we are on Facebook at UC Merced Pre-Health Advising, and then on Instagram at NSUC Merced Pre-Health. And thank you all for your attention. I'm going to stop sharing now, and we can do some questions.
Thank you so much, Erica. Once again, another great presentation for our audience, giving them so much information to consider, and fantastic information at that. So hopefully they are getting a lot out of this event tonight about pre-health and pre-law. And at this time, we would like to go ahead and welcome on screen to anyone who would like to start helping us answer some of these questions that are coming in. We have great questions coming in too, so we just have a wonderful audience tonight. Do I need to be a science major in order to be considered for pre-health advising?
Great question. So the answer is no. We work with any student, regardless of major, who is intending a career in healthcare.
Perfect. That's nice and short.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. All right. So the next question, I will also stick with you here on this one. What is the percentage of students getting into medical school from UC Merced? I think that's one that we addressed, right? Do we not have that exact number?
We do not have those numbers, as students must release it, and not all students do. So we do not have accurate data on that. Yeah.
All right. And if you don't mind, I'll stick with you for the next one too here. So is it hard to get classes that are needed to meet the requirements for medical school at UC Merced?
No, I would say that it is not more difficult. I have been at UC Merced for almost 16 years. And when I see students struggling with course registration, it's typically because they did not register on time. So my pro tip to you all is register as soon as your registration date opens, and you'll have more information on how to register for the fall semester. You'll get that via email over the next several weeks. Register on time.
Always important. Watch those dates and deadlines, no matter what they're for. If it's registering for Bobcat Day that's coming up, or registering for classes, everything in between, right? Those are important dates.
Yep.
All right. So another question coming in. Let me take a look here. We'd like to have a little bit more information shared about the BS program to the MD program. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So starting in fall 2023, UC Merced will admit its first cohort of BSMD students. They will be first-time freshmen, so first-year students only, and it'll be a cohort of 12. So those students will have provisional acceptance to the UCSF School of Medicine, but they will do 4 years of undergraduate study with us in Merced before they transition to the MD program at UCSF. Some of the initial classes will be taught on our campus, but it is in partnership with UCSF. We are, to clarify, UC Merced is not opening a standalone medical school in fall of 2023. Some of the news out there kind of made it seem like we were. It is still our goal and commitment to medical education in the Valley, but we are not opening a standalone medical school in 2023. It'll be a select group of first-time freshmen coming in as freshmen in fall of 23.
Very good. And then how do people go about actually applying for that program?
That is a great question too. So application specifics, I believe, are coming. to my knowledge, and the admissions folks can jump in here if I'm wrong, it will be through the regular UC application for first-year students.
Very good. And I have a couple more questions coming in. So the next one here, does the pre-health program offer to help build a portfolio for medical school?
Portfolio. So we counsel students in terms of what's needed and what they might pursue in terms of developing their application. And again, it is ultimately up to the student to take action on that advice and those recommendations.
Perfect. And let me just toss out one more for pre-health, and then we may shift back over to some pre-law questions. Let's see. So can we do a pre-health at UC Merced and then also get into a nursing program someplace?
So again, pre-health is not a major. And so, and UC Merced does not have a degree program leading to RN licensure. So what students can do is come to UC Merced, complete a bachelor's degree in anything you'd like. Like I said, you can be any kind of major, and do the nursing prerequisites. And then you can pursue a second bachelor's degree, whether it's traditional or accelerated, so you go faster, or an entry-level MSN, which is a Master of Science in Nursing. So that is a recommended pathway for students who are at UC Merced and interested in pursuing nursing.
Very good. Thank you so much, Erica. I hope you stick around because we may have more questions for you here in just a minute. The next question I'd like to toss out has to do more with the pre-law program and specifically about the Uctc program. Do we have a panelist who would like to come on screen with us and talk about that a bit? Hi, Chandra.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm so sorry for the internet connection before, but yeah, I can definitely talk about the Uctc program. A lot of my e-board members have actually gone and done that, and personally, I really want to do that, but because I'm a double major, it is quite hard for me to take part in it, but I have done my research and I can give you guys the little details about it. So for the Uctc program, you just have to fill out an application. It is a semester program, so you can go to DC for a whole semester. You will be taking classes there, but also be participating in like an internship or a shadow in the career path that you want to go in. I can give you guys more, pre-law focus, but there's also other sections that you can go in as well. But from the research that I've done, the Uctc program can help you guys build your resume, but also allow you guys to, get the experience by living in DC and, learning more about how is it that you can do different opportunities in the UCDC. There will be housing is provided by the UC, so you don't have to worry about the housing. Your financial aid does transfer over with the UCDC program, so that is also somewhat covered as well, depending on your financial aid. Yeah, overall, there's so many different opportunities, and it just depends on what your interest is. And majority of the students that I've seen go are like more public policy related, but it really just depends on what your interests are. I hope that answered the question, but yeah.
Yes, thank you so much and welcome back. I'm glad the internet connection got figured out. Welcome back. All right, so the next question I'd like to toss out here. What is the student to faculty, the ratio in the pre-health program?
Great question, and I'm not entirely certain. I can talk a little bit about how the classes are structured. So for the basic sciences, they are typically held in larger lecture halls, but none of the lectures are greater or have more than 377 students. That's the biggest lecture you would have. Then there's also discussion sections that also meet once a week, and those are small, no more than 30, most are 20 to 24. Labs are also 20 to 24 seats each. So while you might be in some of these really large lectures with the faculty member, there are those smaller opportunities to get more individualized attention from the instructors or the TAs who are usually graduate students studying that particular subject. But the ratio, I'm sorry, I don't have that on hand.
Well, exact numbers are always important, but I think the most important is to know that it is a small number of students to faculty. So they definitely get to know your name, just like everywhere on campus. We're a very family-oriented place, so that I can speak from experience being a staff person for almost 8 years that we all know each other. So the good news is that it's a very small ratio at that. All right, so the next question, and this can go out to both pre-health and pre-law. What does a good sample of a first-year course load look like?
Sure. So for pre-med or pre-health, it's pretty prescribed. You're going to take writing, you're going to take math, you're going to take chemistry, and probably biology. Like I shared in my presentation, the science classes are highly sequential. You gotta keep taking them. You gotta start them and to finish them on time. So that's generally what you can expect. Always a chem, always a math until you're done, and then always biology, plus some other GEs as you go on.
Very good. A follow-up question that we had just come in was asking how important math would be. And I think you just answered that. It's very important.
Math is important. It's connected to chemistry and is connected to physics. So while for pre-health requirements, you're going to take probably 2 semesters of calculus and a semester of statistics, but those are prerequisites to advanced courses down the line. But if you are one that struggles with math, we do have dedicated math tutoring through the Math Center. We also have dedicated chem tutoring through the Chem Center. We are also expanding bio-specific tutoring. So even if you find yourself struggling in these classes, there is help available.
Very good. And then I'll open that up too to the pre-health folks that are on behind the scenes with us. If any of you want to come on screen and share kind of a similar answer to that question in terms of what is your first semester or first year, what does that look like?
Thanks. I thank you for rephrasing the question because I was answering questions. So obviously it's going to really be contingent upon your major. So we mentioned that you can major in anything, but if you are majoring in say like bio or chem, you're going to be taking either bio, you're going to be taking chemistry, but again, it's all going to be contingent upon that major. So typical first semester students, bio, chem, math, and either writing or Spark seminar. Again, you'll get your recommended courses in June when it's ready to be registration time. So next month you'll get an introductory email from your advisor, and then you'll get a list of courses based on what you've mentioned. So if you are not majored in a science, which is completely fine, but you are interested in pre-health pathway, do let them know about that because it is important for them to be aware of it. But yeah, Erica pretty much hit it. So yeah, you're pretty much taking chem and bio and math and eventually physics almost every semester initially.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And where can someone find a general layout of classes that they would need for all 4 years for the pre-med program?
That is a great question. And we have a flow chart that does a pretty good job illustrating, but the 4-year plan is really dependent on the major because again, pre-health isn't a major. You have major and GE requirements there. But what I can do is drop in this chart in the chat. And that's an illustration of kind of how the classes kind of work together. This is not all of the requirements, but it gives you a pretty good indication of how the courses are interconnected. But again, everybody's kind of plan is going to depend on their unique situation and their placement in math and chemistry and writing.
Very good. Thank you so much for that. All right, so the next question that I've seen come in a couple of times, we'll move back over to the BS to the MD program. And the question is that program applicable to freshmen during the fall of 2023, no matter the high school graduation year, or those who specifically graduated from high school in 2023?
That's a great question. I will preface my answer with there's still a lot of program development occurring. And so a lot of information has not yet been shared. What I know today is that the program will be open to students applying as first years in fall of 2023.
Perfect. All right, so another question here. This one's coming in about a transfer student. So as a transfer student, what are some of the challenges that you could foresee that they would face at UC Merced, aside from possibly just not getting into the classes or having some type of class schedule challenges?
Sure. So we have a very small transfer student population. My other hat, one of the other hats I wear is I am the transfer advisor for students in the School of Natural Sciences. So if there are any science transfer students out there, I will be your advisor. You can email me at any time. But some things that I've seen with transfer students is kind of making that connection with the community, because there's not very many transfer students out there. But there is the TRV program, and that's the Transfer, Returning, and Veteran program. They do have a very nice lounge that is dedicated just to their students. And that is a great space to go and find other transfer students and make those connections. So it can be challenging to come into the institution right at the junior level, where you're kind of intermingling with students who have been there for 2 or more years. So the TRV program really helps with that kind of acclimation.
Perfect. And then a moment ago, you mentioned that we do offer academic tutoring programs. Can you talk a little bit more about that? We've received some questions that people would like to know a bit more about what that exactly includes.
Yeah, for sure. And so our tutoring programs are housed in centers. And so, like I said, we have the Math Center for Math, Chem Center, Writing Center. We are getting a Physics Center up and running, and then bio tutoring and computer science tutoring as well. So I'm really excited about that new change. I'm going to try to find the website here. The tutoring centers have recently been reorganized to make it easier to access services. But again, I don't have their bookmark, but I will get it here and put it in the chat. But again, there's also tutoring available for non-science. I'm biased because I'm coming from the School of Natural Sciences, but there's also tutoring available for non-science and engineering courses as well through the Plus Center. So I will find the link for all of the tutoring, and I'll put it there in the chat.
Perfect. Thanks, Erica. All right, the next one has to do with pre-law, so we'll bounce back over to that area. What type of extracurricular activities are there for pre-law students to be involved in? I know we have our students still on with us here. Chandan and Erin, if one of you or both would like to come on.
Yes, okay. That's a great question, because we actually have quite a lot of new opportunities and some new ones that were just incorporated this year. The first one is, of course, my club, MPLS, Merced Pre-Law Society. It's a great resource for those who are wanting to go down the pre-law route. Next, we have a fraternity, Phi Alpha Delta, which is also pre-law focused. They also are a great resource much like ours, but on top of what, there's a limit to how much Merced Pre-Law Society can help with. But with the fraternity, they are able to provide more resources such as LSAT prep guidebooks and things like that. Next, we have the UCLA Fellows Program. I am actually going through the Fellows Program right now as well, and it's a great resource for those who are wanting more preparation to okay, so what is law school? Is it for me? Or going through the questions okay, so how can I improve myself to be a better candidate for these law schools? And it's a great resource to prepare for that. And lastly, something that we've just incorporated this year with one of the law professors on campus, Professor Harris, is the Forge virtual internship program. So Merced is pretty local, so it is hard to find internships here, but this virtual internship allows you to get the internship virtually, so you don't have to worry about going somewhere. But yeah, yes, exactly. Thank you for putting up the slide, but these are a great resource. And Forge is one of the newest ones that's been incorporated. It's kind of like a class. You sign up for it, you do some courses, and you watch videos, you answer questions, work on projects. And then once you complete it, yeah, you can work from there.
Very good. Thank you so much for that. That's always great information, again, directly from one of our current Bobcats. So thank you for that information, and also thank you for that slide. That was very helpful. All right, so then the next question coming in is also about pre-law and a pre-law degree specifically. So just generally speaking, what type of advice can you offer incoming Bobcats just to keep in mind on how they can prepare to be successful in going down and pursuing this road for their education?
Yes, I would say one of the professors here gave great advice to me my freshman year, which was 2 years ago, that prior preparation prevents poor performance. So one thing that can really help is, come to classes prepared. There is some reading that you have to do. It is not as heavy, but it does get hefty if you keep putting it off. So just be prepared, come to class, read lectures, read the reading material, do your work, do that extra research, and it will pay off when you get to class, because we do have a few of the professors here on campus that will just call you out and like, hey, do you know the question or the answer to this? And you're like, oh, do I? And then, so that does come by surprise. So it's just prior preparation really does help with that. And yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. So we are getting closer to the end of this event. So I just want to give all of our panelists here who have been on with us, either behind the scenes or on screen, if any of you have any last minute words that you'd like to share for advice for either pre-health or for pre-law, and for our audience who's been listening in tonight. Erin, would you like to start? I saw you pop on.
Hi, yeah. So it's kind of adding on to what Chandan was saying. Something very important, not only in your success in pre-law, but I assume is also going to translate to pre-health, is getting to know the resources available to you here at UC Merced. There's a lot of tutoring centers here on campus for both STEM courses and SHA courses. We have our STEM tutoring center. We also have our math center and our writing center. So utilizing these resources are obviously going to bring you to a path road to success. And also getting to know your professors and getting to know your TAs and developing this connection and relationship with them, because although UC Merced is a smaller campus and your professors will get to know you by name if like the classroom is obviously a smaller size, there is more to you than just your name. They want to get to know like what you're interested in. Will you need help in certain parts of the class? And also, because you're choosing your own classes, if you want to get like the grades that you want, it all comes down to choosing the classes that you want to take. So the courses that you're passionate about are the courses that you are going to get the higher grades in. So although like one might seem more prestigious than the other, if you're getting a worse grade in that class than a higher grade in like one that you are genuinely interested in and think about like pursuing in the future, I mean, one is obviously going to be more important than the other.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And I do believe we have a slide that we're going to share that has some law information on it as well. There we go. So everyone who's listening tonight, if you'd like to take a screenshot of that, there's a lot of information for you there. And I'm not sure if our panelists, if you have any comments that you'd like to make about this particular slide and this content.
Yes, I would like to add a little bit. The first class that you see on the top left, the business law class, which falls under the management 135, it's a class that I took my sophomore year, first semester. It kind of piggybacking off of what Erin just said, like, it was really helpful. I was really passionate about it, and I got an A+ in that class. There was some parts that were struggling, but it really helped. And now I'm a third year, but I'm also a course reader for that class. So a course reader is just a TA for that class. And it's really fascinating because every year the material changes. You're going over new cases and things like that. And it really does help. And in all honesty, all of these classes that you'll see right under the title, there's a little subsection like management, sociology, political science, philosophy. Like you'll see that it's very diverse. Like these fall under different majors and things like that. So like it just comes to show like, if you want to be a pre-law focus, you can literally go down any path you want and just specialize in it. And like you're free to take these classes, which actually do fulfill some of the courses that you need in order to graduate. So, I feel like, being prepared, looking at these, and if you're passionate, much like how Erin said, you will do well in that. So, just do your research, come prepared. It is a little tough, but I'm not trying to scare you. It is doable. If I can do it, I believe anybody can do it. So, you got this, do your best.
You both definitely have the Bobcat spirit. You can do it, right? Let's put your mind to it. All right, Erica, would you like to leave any last minute words of advice tonight?
Yeah, for sure. So in regards to pre-health preparation, it's going to be tough. Those classes are hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But like we've been sharing, know your resources, know where to go. Don't be shy about asking for help. So for Jen and I, this is what we do. This is why we have these jobs, is we love to help students. So don't feel like you're bothering us. Ask for help. We're happy to help. And if we don't know the answer, we'll get you connected with the folks that do. So come to UC Merced. If you're coming to Bobcat Day, come to the School of Natural Sciences tables. We will have several, one of which will be pre-health. But come talk to us, ask us questions. We're here to help.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for all of that great information, not only in your last words here, but throughout the presentation, and of course to Erin and to Chandan for everything that they've offered, and Jen as well for coming on screen, and everyone that's been behind the scenes. I know we've covered a lot tonight, so hopefully our audience got all of their questions answered, either behind the scenes or on screen with us here at the end. We do have a couple announcements that we do want to mention. The one that you've heard several times is Bobcat Day. It is coming up in just a couple of days. It is on Saturday, April 23rd. It is a full day event. It actually starts about 10 o'clock in the morning, but you will feel like it is a jam-packed day. We will have thousands of people on campus, including everyone on this event, myself included. I'm so excited to hop out of the laptop and actually see some of you guys in person. Very exciting for that. So what you can expect that day, we'll actually drop the link in the chat for you to take a look at the website at your leisure, but you can expect presentations specific for School of Engineering, School of Natural Sciences, which Eric is familiar with, as well as the Shaw Department, which is School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Arts. There are many other things happening. We have, I think, close to 200 tabling events happening with clubs and organizations and other opportunities that we have at UC Merced for you. So like I said, there's a lot going on that day. Take a look at the website. Get yourself registered. One last piece on Bobcat Day, you can also get a self-guided tour in the housing itself, so you can see what some of the residence halls look like, where you can spend the next couple of years as your home away from your home at home. And then you can also get a campus tour. Now, the other thing is, if you don't have a chance to attend Bobcat Day for some reason, you can also get a campus tour at any other time. So we do have a website we can drop in chat for you as well. You can hop onto that link, get yourself signed up for you, your family, and your guests if you'd like to come at a different time besides Bobcat Day to take a look at our beautiful campus. One last thing I will note, that this event tonight has been recorded, as mentioned previously. We will make this instant replay available to you on the Become a Bobcat virtual series website. We will drop that into the chat as well, so start clicking on those links before you lose them. And we will have all those links available for you on Become a Bobcat website, but also we have some upcoming events that you definitely want to take a look at and get yourself registered for. So we have 2 more coming up this week. One is on the social justice and identity programs. It's happening tomorrow night. And we also have one for the Asian American community coming up on Thursday. There are also a couple more coming up in the next week or 2, so definitely take a moment and take a look there. Once again, my name's Ricky Hill. This has been so much fun with you tonight, moderating this great event with all of you online with us, both behind the scenes and here on screen, as well as our fantastic audience. You never disappoint with those incoming questions. It's been so much fun. We hope to see you at a future online event, but even better at Bobcat Day this Saturday. So get yourself signed up. Have a great night, everyone.